Hey, what's up everyone? Round 2 of the Diablo 4 open beta just wrapped up and it did not disappoint. I got to try the two previously lost classes, the Druid and the Necromancer, and they were both a lot of fun. Sit back and relax and let's dive right into it. First, we'll be looking at customization again. There are some overlapping features. You can still rock some sick tattoos as a Druid and pick the color of your eyes and hair just like before with the Barbarian. In fact, the Barbarian and Druid even share the same tattoo options. When it comes to the real nitty gritty, the hair and the face options, those are determined by your class. Don't worry though, my fellow fashion forward friends, there are still plenty of options to choose from. Combined with the transmogrification system, which allows you to alter the look of your armor to have a different appearance, you're more likely to get struck by lightning than running into someone with the exact same look as you. So get ready to strut your stuff in Sanctuary and show off your unique style. But I do have to talk about something real important for a second. You know what's missing from the character customization in Diablo 4? A slider for body size. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all about embracing your body type and feeling good in your skin. But come on, wouldn't it have been cool to see a beefed up Necromancer or a scrawny Barbarian? I mean, think of the possibilities here. But alas, my fellow gamers, it's not meant to be. Barbarians and Druids will stay thick, and my Necromancer will look like a Tim Burton character. And while it doesn't make much of a difference to me personally, I do have a feeling that one particular guy out there will be bummed. Sorry, Asmon. The Druid. My love for this class goes way back to when I first got introduced to World of Warcraft, or WoW for short. Back when I was just a young, impressionable gamer, my friend told me all about the shapeshifting class. And as a 12-year-old, that sounded like the coolest thing ever. To this day, I still play Druid regularly. Fast forward to Diablo 4 and I finally got to test out the Druid. And let me just say, it felt like coming home. The shapeshifting abilities did not disappoint, and the class feels versatile and powerful. The kit is complex and leaves lots of room for mastering all that Druid has to offer. So if you're like me and you've got a soft spot for the Druid, then you're in for a treat with Diablo 4. Get ready to unleash your inner beast and pulverize your enemies. Now, as much as I love solo adventuring, there's something special about tackling the dungeons of Sanctuary with a partner. I was fortunate enough to have a friend join me and explore this avenue together, and Diablo 4 did not disappoint in the party features department. It was like we were living out our own Dungeons & Dragons campaign, with me playing the tanky frontline and my friend dishing rapid damage from the sidelines. I was a little concerned that having two players would make the game too easy, with double the amount of good guys for the same amount of bad guys. You know, it's like bringing dynamite to a knife fight. We have so much area of effect potential. Multiple times we were separated and we just killed mobs of enemies with ease by ourselves. It didn't really feel like there was a difficulty cap that got applied. But things got heated up when we faced up against the first boss. It was a long and tedious fight, and with our current skill set, we were not leaving this dungeon alive. Thankfully, Diablo 4 makes changing your abilities in the skill tree a breeze. And up until level 15, there's no cost to changing your abilities. So, like the strategic gamer I am, I quickly switched to a range build and started spamming this. Hey, whatever it takes to take down a boss, okay? And after what felt like an eternity, the boss finally fell. It was like we had just slain a dragon or something. But that's the beauty of Diablo 4. You never know what kind of challenges you'll face, but with a little creativity and a trusty friend by your side, anything is possible. Until they abandon you to go to sleep.
No,
I think I'm gonna fuck off and go to sleep.
Don't do it!
it matters little, I suppose.
I'm tired.
Don't do it! We can just do one whole dungeon together. It only takes like 30 minutes.
With plenty of curiosity still ahead of me, I ventured onwards to unlock more content. My next milestone would be getting some wolf pets. They piqued my curiosity during the selection screen, and reading the ability in my talent tree made me grind until I got them so I could test them out. They're summoned as friendly minions that help in combat, and when activated, they lunge to the targeted enemy. This kind of reminds me of Kill Command in WoW for anyone who plays Hunter or is familiar with them, where your pet rushes forward to bite the enemy. But if that doesn't give you the wow factor I'm aiming for, no pun intended, then maybe this John Wick clip will do it for you. This is how this ability makes me feel, and it feels good. This really changed the dynamic of my gameplay, and shortly after getting some more ability points, I was able to try some other passive pets that the Druid had in its kit. Namely a raven, which swoops in on occasion, and a vine. Every pet has an active ability and a passive component, which gives you some breathing space from having to smash your keyboard every second for maximum damage output. I didn't want to get too far ahead in the story since I knew I'd have to do it all over again when Diablo 4 drops in full force. But even with that in mind, I couldn't resist delving a little deeper into the game this time around. And I've got to say, this story's got me hooked. The intro does a bang up job of setting the stage and explaining our ties to the main antagonist and setting up some of our goals. But like any good Blizzard story, there's bound to be plenty of obstacles and challenges standing in our way before our final battle. And let's not forget about our allies. They're just as interesting and unique as they come, both in terms of their design and their personalities. The enemies in the game complement the Diablo aesthetic. Each enemy type has its own distinct style and their vibe, and they all fit together like pieces in a dark and twisted puzzle. Smaller foes which are fast and agile, often in larger groups but quickly squashed. Then there's the big, hulking brutes who can take a serious beating and dish it out just as hard. And don't even get me started on the ranged enemies. These guys will take every opportunity to get some distance between you and them, making them really tough to pin down. But when it comes to the boss battles, all bets are off. These guys are true beasts, whether it's because of their sheer size and their power, or the tricky tactics you need to take them down. The environment in this game is seriously top notch. It's one of my favorite things about it. I mean, just look at that. Everywhere you go, there's something new and exciting to look at, and it never feels like you're just trudging through the same old scenery over and over again. From backgrounds that move and squirm to objects that can be destroyed to the eerie feeling of what's next. Several times have I let my guard down while opening doors to be met with a small horde of enemies. Other times, while constantly on guard, I opened door after door and met with only silence. The action is constant, but never overwhelming and repetitive. The biggest surprise I've had so far with Diablo 4 is realizing I probably won't be maining Druid. I have to admit, I was a little disappointed with the class I initially thought would be my favorite. You see, I'm a big WoW player, and I'm used to having a ton of freedom when it comes to movement and abilities regarding the Druid. When I first started playing Diablo 4, I had these expectations in my head that the game just couldn't live up to. But you know what? It wasn't the game's fault, it was mine. And once I let go of these expectations, I was able to see the game for what it really is. And I ended up discovering something totally unexpected. Turns out the thing I enjoyed most about playing Druid was not the shapeshifting part. It were the NPC allies I had at my disposal. There's something really unique about being able to work with these characters, something that I hadn't experienced in my playthroughs as the Barbarian or Demon Hunter in Diablo 3. With this in mind, I rolled Necromancer. I spent no time customizing because I didn't expect to enjoy the gameplay, I just wanted to see what the class had to offer. Spoiler alert, it ended up being my favorite experience. Right from the start, I could summon skeletal minions from corpses. Not only does their AI work well when in combat, they deal good damage and absorb damage for me. It felt like instead of 2 wolves, I now had 4 wolves. And at certain levels, you can tailor your minions' appearance, their abilities, and even behavior, allowing for a personalized army of the undead. When it comes to character classes in Diablo 4, there is a lot of room for personalization. The Druid can be played as a hulking bear, or berserking werewolf, or a quick caster, even all 3 at once if that's your thing. Meanwhile, the Barbarian can be a spin-to-win maniac or defensive bulwark for your team. And with the Necromancer, you have the option to either wield a shield and frontline with your skeletons, or hang back and blast your enemies with bone splinters. No matter which class you choose, there are plenty of ways to customize your approach and make it your own. The game's versatility truly sets it apart from its predecessor, and I applaud it for that. I hope you found this video insightful and enjoyable, and I can't wait to team up with you in Sanctuary.